Y'all thought I was gonna make it quick? So you know when a Netflix series is like coming to an end? It's been fun, it's been dramatic, but at the end it gets real crazy. And everything starts coming together. That's kind of what started happening. As they had stopped, singing until 10 p.m. And by the way, April, she ain't Ariana Grande. You could take that in looks or singing, whichever one, both apply. But all of a sudden, it was American Idol every night. You like that one? And Bob, he was bringing in the bass now. Like, what the heck, guys? I thought we gave up this gimmick like a year ago. You got new tricks? And then are you done?
You got new tricks?
And the text line had dried up too. But all of a sudden, they must have gotten the unlimited plan, because April was hitting my line. With text, it would make my English teacher. So yeah, the alcohol consumption by them is like to an all-time high. To now, it's like 11 p.m. at night, maybe like 11:30, and we look at our camera. First of all, the floodlight's back. Remember how it says season finale, they just like do everything all together? That's what was happening. Floodlight's back, and she's out walking around. She's just walking around, 11:30 at night, just walking around in her underwear, shorts, I don't even know. Walking, and albeit screaming, yelling. Like, it's one thing to just be walking around in the dark. It's a whole nother to know you're on our camera, and to just be walking around half naked, yelling.
She's like 70 years old.
Yeah, she's like 70. And not words like F you or I don't like goats. No, just yahoo! Not words. But Bob was gonna add to this duet, the old 12. So Bob walks out with his shotgun. We're like, this is it. He's gonna shoot her. He's as tired of her as we are. This is it. He just walks to the back of the yard and goes. It's at least what a 12-gauge shotgun sounded like when you're trying to sleep. Did not even regard that his wife was walking around in her underwear at night, yelling. Just walked back inside. Like, is this the episode of The Office where they try to find things that faze Stanley and nothing phases him? Just to shoot his weapon. Oh, hey, honey, continue enjoying your night. Like, what's in their Sprite? I don't get it. Vodka, exactly. We're like, it's normally bad, but you guys are losing your minds. And on video, she's even traipsing onto our property on and off, but luckily, we kept it on video. Save that for another day. Then towards the end, she's going, and pointing at our house, but we can't hear what the heck she's saying. Skeletor. So by the way, we had looked off the camera, so we just heard shotgun, and we knew April was out there, so we were like, oh my god, he just killed her. Didn't happen. She was still doing, like, the Macarena out there in her underwear. And yelling. And then at some point, as oddly as she arrived, she went back inside. And we went to sleep, like, what's happening? You know in Inception, the movie, as things, like, progress longer and longer, things start to break down and get weirder and weirder? It's pretty much how we felt. Next day, old gun cleaning Bob's back on our property line. This time, though, upgraded version, he didn't have a shirt on. So he could rest a beer on the beer belly. It's nature's cup holder. So, the next day, a little argument happened in the front yard. How did it start? Well, they let their little golden doodle off the tree, and he was in our yard. And she got all hippie on us, like, why can't your dogs just play with ours? 'Cause yours tried to eat our grandmother. So she says something passive-aggressive. After we're like, we don't want your dogs in our yard. Pretty normal thing to want. Especially when the only instances you have are, like, them peeing on your plants and them trying to attack your family. So we're like, can you keep your dogs on your property? And she goes on this whole rant of, oh, my dogs are nice. They stay on the property. They stay with me because they love me. So
they love you because you look like bones and they want to eat you.
Yeah.
That's what.
So she's going on this whole long rant. Meanwhile, Goldie Fox, her little dog, not his real name, but what a great name, is across the road halfway through a cornfield while she's on this rant about how her dogs stay in the same place. And then she turns around and she's like, where is he? And I just point. And as she's walking back, because we're still outside, we're just chilling on her porch, she says, just watch out. Y'all are going to get what's coming to you. What? So the very next day, because like when it rains, it hails, we woke up to our front yard completely demolished. First reaction, I'm going to kill our neighbors. But upon a closer look and a policeman coming by, it wasn't them at all. A drug deal had gone bad in downtown Dover. A man was shot and killed. The shooter stole the guy he killed's car. You're dead, you don't need this anymore. Drove the car on a runaway chase and went down our road. He crashed on the curve leading up to our house, popping 2 of his tires and leaving behind his rearview mirror. But we just woke up to everything in our front yard being demolished. Insurance took care of it. How did we not hear that in the middle of the night? Oh yeah, the worst
What
part,
is
my
all
wife
that?
just brought it up. It was trash day. Garbage was everywhere. It's not neighbor related, but I just want y'all to know everything that was going on. Our sweet neighbor Denise even came over to help me pick up the stuff in the front yard. Love her. That story actually goes a lot deeper. If you want me to actually finish the story about how we actually helped find the stolen car, let me know. 2 nights later, she would text me drunk, and I have screenshots of the conversation. It's not a very thrilling conversation. And it's on this album that I titled Crazy. Because we had to keep video and pictures and documentation of all the stupid stuff that was happening. Like this quick message conversation. Don't worry, I'll go more in depth on that later. So a couple days later, of course it's summer, we're just chilling out in the front yard. She's about to pop out this old baby. And here comes the drunk pencil, otherwise known as April Tiger, mumbling about nonsense, as always. But sometimes when she knew we could hear us, she would say things that she wanted to say to us, but felt awkward actually saying to us. So she would just mumble it extremely loudly to herself with us there. One of the sentences being, "This is our land anyway." No, it's not. I bought it at McDonald's. That's a true story. You remember that? Bought the land at McDonald's. Ah, insurance fraud. I can tell that story another time, and no, I wasn't the fraud. But as she was mumbling, we found out what started all of this. The guns, the yelling, the nonsense. You want to know how it all started? Because we didn't know. We really didn't. When people would ask us, "What did you do?" we looked at each other and didn't have an answer.
The complete opposite. We were the young kids, and they were like the old people partying.
Yeah, you'd think it would be the opposite, that we were the young nonsense kids just going crazy.
It's like, we want to go to bed at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, and you guys are partying. Gotta listen to John Denver and AC/DC all night. But she mumbled to herself and we heard it, as was the intention of her loud mumbling. And when she said it, my wife and I just looked at each other like, what? She said, and I'll do my best to do her loud mumble. "Didn't even thank us for the red gift we gave him last year. Vietnam." That's right. The tiny snowball that rolled down the hill and turned into this boulder-sized mammoth was that we didn't thank her for the wedding gift. And that's when Rachel and I finally realized there was a plant left on our porch. We'd gotten back from our honeymoon, which was just like 1 weekend away, and there was a plant on our porch. No name, no anything. We were like, hey, a plant. And we did what anybody would do when there's a random plant on their porch. We put it somewhere appropriate for a plant to live. And that was it. You ever thrown a party about a plant? Spread the news? "Someone left me a plant." No, my mom's a freaking botanist, so I pretty much figured she left it. But we tied the noose together. We tied the clues together. My bad. And we figured it must have been April. And she has held that grudge for 2 years now. 2. Y'all don't want the story on this old boy. We brought this news to Denise. And she's like, "Oh yeah, I've heard her talk about that." Like, Denise, I love you so much. That would have been valuable information to have. But we love her and we got her like a Ruby Tuesdays gift card. Moving, passing away, a lot more law enforcement, arguments, video evidence. We just want to have one freaking bonfire. Why did I think I was going to knock this out in 10 parts? I would be doing a disservice if I try and chunked everything I had left in like 50 seconds. It's more like 5 minutes. But I'll leave you guys with a little bit of what's going to happen. We left for work one day. My wife was my assistant for a little bit of time. And when we left, we got a notification that someone was on our front lawn. No less than 2 minutes after we left. My wife pulls up the camera. She had a little app on her phone. And no one else other than April Tiger and both of her dogs, one of which is peeing on her plant, is walking back and forth and back and forth in our yard. If for no other reason than to just say, "'Cause I can." Because apparently she was convinced this was her land. Like this. Oh, that's a picture of a lizard. You've left us with more evidence and no choice.